Welcome back. Today we'll be looking into, I guess, the part 2 of x and y coordinates of an exponential graph. The last lesson, what we were talking about was graphing an exponential graph, as well as its properties of, let's say, an asymptote, that it doesn't have negative values for y for a particular type of graph that we did as an example. The x values get larger, therefore the y values gets really large. It doubles and things like that. The x values get smaller, therefore the y value gets smaller, but never ever reaches to 0. Okay, and we also talked about an equation of an asymptote, which is x equals to 0 for a specific graph that we just did in our example. So in this video, we're going to be looking into our second example, which is find the x-coordinate of the point on the graph of y equals 6 to the power of x, whose y-coordinate is 216. Now, this will be a little bit more different compared to our last video on x and y coordinates of a parabola. Okay, in this case, we won't use algebra. We'll just use this method called trial and error. Okay, so to start off with, this will be a very short video. Hopefully it makes sense. First things first, anytime that I come across a y coordinate, I'm going to substitute that into my equation. So my equation here is y equals 6 to the power of x. So I'm now going to put in 216 and replace it for y. So it should look something like this. 216 equals to 6 to the power of x. What I'm going to do now is I'm just doing a trial and error. I'm just going to say, well, if 6 is to the power of 1, what do we get? We'll get 6. That doesn't matches to this. Okay. If 6 to the power of 2, what would we get? That is 36. Okay, that's not the same. It's just trial and error and making sure that it looks the exact same as my y coordinate. Okay, and that's how I know my x coordinate. If 6 to the power of 3, what does that equal to? It'll be very helpful if you have a calculator, okay, just to double check things. 6 to the power of 3 actually gives me 216. So that means 6 to the power of 3 gives me what I want. Okay, so another way I can write it is, sorry, not 6 to the power of x, but 6 to the power of 3 gives me 216. Therefore, the coordinate will be 3 for my x, comma, 216. That is basically it. That's probably the most easiest thing that you would learn. So yeah, hopefully it makes sense, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.